So today we're going to talk about charging by conduction and induction. If you have earbuds in your ears, they should now come out. How'd you do, Fletcher? Oh, geez. Okay. Blake, I'm ready to begin. How's that say?
I feel learning one.
You want to go look for him?
Yeah.
Can you find your way back here?
Yeah.
Okay, go look for 5 minutes.
4A1.
Gracias. Okay, so after today, you will know. Jeff, I need your attention now, please. I've begun. After today, you will know the terms conduction. Blake, I've already told you that I'm ready to begin, so it's time for you to listen to me. After this, you will know the terms conduction, induction, what grounding means, and you'll understand the difference between conduction and induction. As well, you will find out about static electricity at, I won't say it because I say it, then we're going to get off track. I'll talk about that when I get to it. Okay. So, charging by contact. Now, what do you have on your sheet? Does it say charging by contact?
No.
Holy lightning, what did I do?
You missed a bunch.
No, you know what I did? It stapled the wrong way. Isn't it?
Yep.
Why are you giving me that look? Emily's giving me that. Thanks a lot, buddy. I apologize. Mistakes happen. It's when we can, admit our mistakes and move on. Okay, so charging by contact and conduction. Charging by contact or conduction. You have to, when you're charging an object, by conduction, there must be contact. If you haven't done so, you should highlight or underline or something or other contact. Conduction, contact, double C. A neutral object, usually a conductor, can be charged by coming in contact with a charged object, right? So, for example, right, you walk across the floor in your socked feet and the carpet, and then you touch Blake in the ear, and you charge him by zapping him on the ear, right? Charge is transferred between the charged object and the neutral object. There must be a transfer. What is actually being transferred? Electrons. All of those were terrible answers. But the best answer is likely electrons. Which are the ones that do not move? Of the three, what are the three subatomic particles? Protons, neutrons, electrons. Protons and neutrons are stuck there in the nucleus, right? They have no fun, they don't get to move. So charge is transferred between the charged object and the neutral object. And it looks kind of like this. How are your drawing skills? Well, you're good. If they're not very good, you have a chance to practice. Now there's 2 to draw. So how much space do you have there? You have quite a bit of space. Do they have to be perfect like that? No. I'll pause there for a second while you guys are drawing that. Let's just talk about the first one here. Let me pull the shade down here so you don't get distracted. Okay, so what's happened here? This green thing here was it was neutral, which means what?
Even.
What do you mean by even? Same amount of positives as it does negatives. Exactly. Very good. Okay. So then you've got this positively charged rod. You bring it up to it here and you touch it. What happens to all the electrons in this neutral object? They're like kids when grandma comes with cookies. They run towards grandma with cookies. Or money. Right? Of course, grandma expects a hug, and yeah, but anyways. All the electrons run toward grandma with cookies, and so what happens to this end here? This end becomes negative, right? But these electrons will also do what? They'll move in, exactly. Blake, are you watching? Blake, because I'm teaching you here. Okay? Those electrons that were near this end will move into the positively charged rod. Look what happened here. Right? There's more electrons here, there's less positives. Are there actually less positives? I don't really like this picture. I think I'm going to have to draw my own. What do you think I don't like about this picture? Like, can there be less positives here? Do the positives get to go anywhere? No, they're stuck in the, they can't move. Now, some might argue, well, that's just an indication of how much charge there is. But I think it leads you to think that the positives go over to here. Do the positives go this way? No, at all. No way. It doesn't happen. The negatives go into here. There's less negatives here, more negatives here. This one is now less positive, and this one here has become what? More negative. It lost electrons. It's more positive. This one is neutral. It's got the same amount. And then once you pull this away, the electrons travel over to the yellow rod. This becomes more positive. You've charged this thing positively by conduction. Is that reasonably clear? Induction means no touching. No touching, Blake. Induction means no touching. So how can you charge something without touching it? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
With electricity.
Well, you charge it with electricity, yes.
You can shock it.
Yeah.
You can shock it, you get a spark.
So you don't have to touch something to get a shock?
No, you don't.
No. A temporary induced charge. What does the word temporary mean?
Hey, Mr.
Not permanent, doesn't last.
What you need to do?
What do I need to do, Blake?
You need to go walk up to a cow and make sure your fingers or your hands like stand heat and touch his nose because his nose is gonna be wet.
Yeah, I'll look for that.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know you're rarely not serious.
Don't get a shock.
A negatively charged object is brought near a neutral conductor, so you just sort of tease it, come up close, but don't touch it.
Don't shock it now.
Like what? Like when you get close to a TV, the old style TV, right? Yeah, the big box one. Yeah.
You turn it on.
So the charged object repels the negative charges at the end of the conductor nearest to it. I thought I had. Oh yeah, no, I didn't. You need to see the picture here. Okay, you need to see the picture. So the charged object, the negatively charged object here repels the negative charge at the end of the conductor nearest to it. So, okay, Blake, you're gonna have to stop this. Okay, we can't continue this. We've got a negatively charged rod here. We bring it up close. What does it do to all the other negative charges in this copper tube over here? Makes them want to run away. Right? These negative guys over here don't want to be anywhere near these negative ones. They can move, right? So they're going to move to this end. This end becomes negative because there's an overabundance of negative charges there. What does the left end become? Slightly positive. I'm going to have to go through that again. I can see what's happening here. Okay, let's go through this here. We're charging without touching. So this is that bottom piece of paper. Hold over here. Right here. We've got a negative charge object is brought near a neutral conductor. The negative charge object repels the negative charge at the end of the conductor nearest to it. This creates a charge separation. Okay, so what I've got here is negatively charged straw. What happened to the negative electrons on this end of the copper tube? They go to the right side. What happens to the positives, Blake? Right here. Do positives move, Blake?
No.
Positives do not move. I've got extra negative ones down here. This end becomes negative. This end becomes positive. If I bring that straw out of the way, what happens to all the electrons? they'll sort of balance out, and the copper tube becomes neutral again. Okay, it will become neutral again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you take the straw away, like so, all these negative guys will head back towards their friends, the positive ones. And then it sort of neutralizes. Can we do this permanently? And the answer to that is yes. Okay? You can permanently induce a charge. Permanent induced charge requires one more operation in the process that you've just completed, and that process is called, do you have it there?
Yeah.
No, you don't. The extra operation is called grounding. Now you've probably heard about the ground wire or something like that. To ground an object means to provide a conducting path between the object and the earth, much like Blake did when he was holding a piece of paper up to it, right? He's removing the charges. They go towards the ground. Grounding by touching a charged object can be extremely dangerous. If it has a high charge and you ground it by touching it, if you stick your finger in a light socket, you are grounding. The electrons are providing a path to the ground.
What if you have rubber boots on?
I wouldn't advise it. Don't do it.
What if you don't?
What if you jumped? Like if you were in the air when you stuck your finger in the light socket? The electrons would go into you, and then when you touch the ground, then you'd get the shock. Eventually you'd come down. Newton says so. Hold it out, you'd still get the electrons in you. Here's the tip, don't do it.
You're a conductor.
Yeah. Don't do it. Yeah. Oh, really?
Sound like the people driving over it.
You jumped off a bridge into the water. Yeah. I don't think something like the only thing that matters is you'll be wet, right? And you provide a better conduction. So the camera must have been wired wrong. The whole thing was electrified. Yeah. So like, just because the wet provides a better path, right? Okay, let's have a look at this here. The earth, the ground is a huge reservoir of positive and negative charges. The ground is huge, right? The earth is huge. There's like gazillions of positive charges and gazillions of negative charges. So it can easily absorb or release negative charges to an object when necessary. It can take negative charges in, or it can give off negative charges. It doesn't care. It's got an unlimited supply. Grounding can also be used to neutralize the charged object. You can ground objects with small electrostatic charges by touching them. So like when you rub your feet on the carpet and then you go and touch someone's ear, technically they are grounding you. That's how you get the zap. They are grounding you.
What? Whoa. Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Okay, so there's me zapping Blake on the ear,
Oh, thank you.
right? Looks just like him. I've got a big thumb there, yeah. Who's grounding who here?
You're grounding your face.
The face is grounding the finger, right? Providing a path.
So why don't you get that?
Well, you feel it too, right? But the electrons are flowing into them. Okay.
Can I like the truth?
You gonna try that to me? You gotta do it on carpet. It doesn't work on linoleum here. Reese, is your hand up? Oh, what can I do for you?
There's a socket when you're jumping like this, and then
Yeah. Don't touch sockets.
Hey, you know what you do?
Why does everyone want to touch a light socket?
Mr. Bennett, you know what you do?
What?
You take a car battery, you put jumper cables on one end,
Yeah?
you take them, take the rough pieces off the
Yeah?
ones on that side, and
Yeah.
you touch them.
Yeah, great idea. Short them out.
Or you take a wrench and you put it from one post.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I know.
Yeah, it's very fire.
So what if the electrical wire, you're actually related to jump and touch, you still get a shock?
No.
No, like the wire above, I think they're insulated, right? I mean,
But what if it was like bare metal?
oh yeah, don't do that.
What if it was like a hydro wire?
Don't do that.
So if you hang off the hydro wire, will you get fried there?
If it's bare, you would.
Won't you get zapped if you're touching our nose, but you touch it?
Actually, if you're not touching something else, you're okay, I think.
Because then the birds would get zapped when they
Exactly. Yeah. And they're insulated too, you guys, right? Okay, let's get through this here, and then I got a video to show you. Who doesn't love Mythbusters? Set up the apparatus to charge the plastic straw as shown. So you've got this negative straw here. You bring it close to the copper tube. What happens to all the electrons? They go that way. This end becomes negative. This end becomes positive. Then touch the copper tube with your finger. Oh yeah, you guys need this, right? Okay, so draw that quick. So, but notice here, this is not touching. See this?
We have to draw that?
Not touching, right? Not touching.
We have to draw that?
Yes, Blake.
Just making sure.
Not touching. Then when you touch the tube, where do the electrons go? In your finger, to the ground. Electrons flow off that copper tube. Yes, draw them. Draw them both. Right there, yes.
You can do the next build out of science.
You get zapped.
What happens when you touch the copper tube? Where do the electrons go? Into the ground, and that leaves the copper rod charged positive or negative. The electrons leave the copper rod, go into your finger and into the ground. It leaves it negative. Right you are. Oh, sorry, leaves it positive. Did I say negative? Leaves it positive. It leaves it positive.